Awesome. Okay, welcome everyone. I call to session the board meeting on this July 21st. Daisy, would you like to take roll call
Sure. Adam,
I am here.
Christine,
here?
Daisy is here. Elizabeth,
Here.
we know Emily is absent. Frank,
Here.
Melissa also absent. Sarah, excellent.
I'm here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, the mission statement. It the mission or yeah, it's the mission of the Montessori Peaks Academy to achieve high standards of individual excellence by guiding the whole student through an exceptional learning experience based on the educational philosophy of Maria Montessori. And then one thing I was thinking to touch base on today, like I think you guys know I like to like pepper in little things as we go along for like mission or vision or why or whatnot. But something I thought that might be helpful to touch base on today, and if we wanted to chat about it at all, we certainly could, but of just the role of the board and our role as board members. And we'll talk about this more next week when we go through the training with Sarah Taylor. In my brain, I always hear Sarah Trainer because she's like a trainer. So but I remember one thing we talked about last year when Bill Noose came from the League of Charter Schools, and he just touched base on the fact that like when we are board members, like we kind of have to take off the hat of parent. You know, of course you can't take off that hat, but like you take off the hat of parent and you put on role of board member. And like when we show up here together, we are the board. And the board for charter school is, you know, the governing body, and it's our role to really think about not our own students or their class or our own, you know, hopes or desires, but really like what is best for the school. You know, almost like as a body of the board, we become like the executive, you know, that executive mindset, you know, of like the global perspective of the board. And I just thought that'd be kind of a helpful framing, you know, as we go through what we talk about today and as we think about the principal search and all of the different elements that we have, just to be thinking about that from that perspective that, like, I'm not showing up as Christine Sarno, parent of, you know, three girls at Montessori Peaks Academy. While that is true, you know, and that's a piece of my identity that you can't, you know, that doesn't go away here and shouldn't, because that's also part of really the structure of what like a parent-led board is. But like I really need to step into the mindset of what's best for the global aspect of the school. And we all need to do that. There's a phrase that you know, my in my background we used to use where we would say you have to live beyond reproach. And what that means is like, even if, you know, you're not doing anything wrong and no one's doing anything wrong in this context, but like, even if you're really doing everything like by the letter of the law, you want to be doing things in such a way that no one could question, like, you know, what's your motive or your intention or whatnot. And I just have such great confidence in this board and all these people and all of you because I do think everyone enters with that mindset. And I'm so grateful for it because I have never felt like that there's any sort of politics or, um, you know, like intention in that regard. But I thought given, you know, the current structure of things, that might be a good thing to touch base on today. So yeah, does anyone have thoughts, comments, times where they've kind of encountered things where it's like, okay, I'm a board member and I need to approach this one-off conversation as a board member, even though, you know, I'm at a friend's birthday party or something like that. And you don't have to share those things, but I guess this idea of like stepping in as the governing body. Does anyone have any thoughts, questions, comments?
I mean, yes, yes. Thoughts, questions, comments. I
Like I got
have,
it all.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you're leading with this. I feel like it's terribly important. I think you know, I realize that our role as board members, we're pretty behind the scenes, and I'm good with that. I think kind of we all are. I like that about this board. And the work that we do is usually pretty mundane, but then sometimes it actually gets, you know, right now it's pretty important. And so like having to put our big boy pants on and go out there and do that work and serve the community to the best of our ability. I know we the times where we hear from community members are often when they're unhappy with a decision or a thought or a feeling, um, and I have to keep reminding myself that's that's the way it goes, and it's our responsibility to sort of to call on ourselves, to pat ourselves on the back sometimes, and I'm optimistic. I think, Christine, and several of the people on this board have had lots of conversations recently, and we spent a lot of time sort of working on stuff, and I'm optimistic that the work that we do will make the school a better place, and I'm looking forward to getting us all there. And I hope that as a community and a group, we can just put our heads down and get the job done to the best of our ability.
Awesome. Thanks. Good. Okay. Well, with that, was there any other thoughts that anyone wanted to share before we kind of dive into business? Good. Okay. Community comments. Has anyone received any community comments?
Nothing from my end.
Okay. Then welcome, Erin. I would like to thank Erin for putting together her first report to be able to give the laydown of the school and what's going on, and really stepping into that role in these last few weeks here, this last month or so, to be able to say like what needs to happen for the school and how are we going to move it forward. And so Erin put together a principal's report for us. So and I invited her to come and join the board meeting to run through the principal's report on the lay of the land for the school, because whether we like it or not, it's not too far off. So my kids don't like it so much, neither does their bedtime. But
Hmm.
I'm right there with them, actually. My bedtime's suffering too. Um,
I guess we got
alrighty,
structure.
so bear with me. I haven't listened to one of these in a while, and I've never done one. Um, I basically used the same format that Robin did. District update. There's a ton of charter specific training coming up this week and the next couple of weeks after that. Um, and general district training. A kind of celebration district wise is the Jeffco. Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. It's the JCLA. Basically, it's all of the Jeffco charter leadership people, so the principals, executive directors. It's an advocacy group to really like go to bat for charter schools in mass. And this year, for the first time, we're going to have our own charter focused school discipline training, so that we're actually getting answers to the questions that we have that are charter specific that in years past haven't been answered. And a lot of that training in previous years has really not been relevant to the charters, and we've just kind of had to figure it out as we went along. So that's pretty exciting. Um, Again, a lot of stuff going on in the next few weeks. Something in the JCLA meeting this morning came up, something about cell phone and library policy. I did not know what they were talking about. So that is now on my find it out ASAP list. Because it's something that apparently needs to happen this school year. So more news to come on that. I know you're all aware that like we're kind of chomping at the bit on some things that need to happen once that interim principal role is decided, hopefully this evening. Um, I've been able to get some access to things, like I can sign vouchers now. So that's helpful, but there's also some role assignments, some access to things, some trainings that are role specific that we can't sort out until that decision is made. So the sooner that we can, the sooner that we can get kind of through that. There's some things that are becoming very pressing. So thank you for getting that on the agenda tonight. Celebrations, recognition, and I tend to just go through lists, so please stop me if you have questions. um, Casey, Shannon, who's retired, um, and Aaron and Adam have all been working really hard this summer to get the campus to get painting done and repairs and put in a new hot water heater at the north building that it's been needing for at least a year. We do have, I think I have this somewhere further, but under facilities, but we will, all of the lovely weeds and things that have proliferated in the summer heat will all be taken care of the first week of August. But they've all been working really hard to get us ready for the new year. Staff return on August 10th. Our PD week is in process, the planning is in process. I have a framework already done. Everything's pretty much plugged in. We're just waiting on a couple of more things to actually have a solid schedule for that it will share as soon as it's ready. The first day on the 11th, the first full meeting day, Monday, is new staff, and then some tech, some other things in the afternoon for other staff. And then our first full day is the business day, and that's the morning that we would like to have a board member or a couple of board members come represent. Thank you for sponsoring the coffee truck. Every year people get really excited when Tom's comes. So that's on schedule for midday on the 11th as well. And we'll be having a light breakfast set up every morning like we did last year. That seemed to be really popular and well received. All our hiring is complete. We hired Carter Kelton as the North Front Desk and Clinic Aid person. I think that not homeschool, but before aftercare hiring is, at least all the interviews are done. And so we're getting that ready to go. He's very excited that he actually has more interviewees than he has positions for the first time. The staff handbook, we've got some revisions. I realized about 2 weeks ago that last year the staff handbook was approved in June by the board. So we're knocking that out as fast as possible. Really, everything will pretty much stay the same. There's some out of date language we need to clean up. I'm working on collecting information on clarifying our staff discipline policies and procedures to make sure we're aligning with best practices, with JEFCO policy, and then keeping that all within our Montessori framework. We felt like that was something that really needed to happen after the last couple of years of not having a clear policy. And then we're adding an actual written classroom pet policy and procedure that was started last year. And so Darcy has been a huge help and has pretty much written all of the parts and pieces of that for us. I'm planning to have that to the board by the 29th at the latest. And so I'm not sure if there'll need to be a special meeting. We just need to have it like approved before staff comes back, and we have to tell them that they need to sign off on it. Any questions on any of that?
Last year, Aaron, I remember we did review it. I think we approved it as like a, but I remember it was a question mark on if the board had to approve it. Maybe there's a few changes to it. So maybe it might make sense to see where you land on it all. And I know we meet next week, and if there's no major changes, we could.
Okay.
I'm gonna look to you, Daisy, to see if this would be compliant in all of it, like just to make sure that we're not like doing anything wrong. But like, if there's no major changes, I wonder if it would even need to have it be done in a board meeting, and maybe if there is major changes, then we could talk about those becoming a piece of a board meeting or doing a special session or whatnot.
Yeah, or I think in the past, I'm trying to remember, I think when everybody's kind of said, yep, those are the changes that needed to happen, nothing outstanding or that needs to be discussed, that it was done by a circular email. It's been, there's been a couple of different ways that like Brian did that.
Yep. Yeah. I think if there's nothing major, it could be more simple, I bet. So we could talk
Okay.
about them.
Perfect. Let's see. For curriculum instruction, there's some 504 changes to the 504 process. Not major changes, but they're adding a few steps. So I'll be talking to staff about that at the beginning of the year. 8:13 is the new family orientation. It's in the gym, 5 to 6. Last year it was very well attended, is my understanding. Basically, it's a chance for all of our new families to come and kind of get the shortened version of our tour presentation and get a tour of the school, meet the board, whomever can come and represent for the board. I've asked somebody to represent for the PTA too. I think in some previous years, the board and the PTA have had like a table at the front where they greeted people and handed out stuff. The classroom meet and greets are an in-school thing. It's just an opportunity. Each level kind of decides what they're going to do. But making sure, especially that those transition year kids get in and they see the classroom and they meet their teacher and that kind of thing. And then on the 19th, our kids come back. Well, our K-8s come back. And then pre-K starts. Those kindergartners get a few days of their own time, and then the pre-K start the next week. And then back to school night. I don't know what time it is. I can't remember what time we did it last year, and I haven't had a chance to check, but it seems like it's usually around 5:30. It might be we might push it to 6 this year so that we can do a presentation before. I'll have to talk to Jen and Jennifer Parker and see how we want to kind of do that this year. And then all our committee meetings, roundtable, all of those things will start meeting in September. SAC probably won't meet until October because we'll want to talk about beginning of the year data, and we won't have that until late September. I already mentioned for facilities, the hot water tank, the damaged grass on the front of the main building has all been replaced and it looks beautiful. It's somehow managing to stay green in this weather. They updated a couple of our sprinkler heads. That is probably helping. You'll notice the chain link fence between the elementary playground and the field is gone. Everything in the parking lot has been painted except for the handicap stencils, and we just need to order the correct size. We don't have the right size stencils to do it, and Jen and Aaron are working on that. Let's see. Accountability. Kim Husted is our new SAC chair. It's our new SAC chair for the first time in the 5-6 years that I've been on SAC. And we'll meet. I think I put on the report early September, and I meant to put early October. So I'll fix that. No, that's not true. I'm sorry. We'll have to meet in September because the UIP is due mid-October. So we'll get that's one of those access things that's kind of sitting out there. Is the only person in a school building who has access to the UIP platform is the principal. So we'll have a few SAC meetings about the UIP, and then we'll talk about data and stuff in October. Enrollment. Casey has been amazing and has been calling and texting and emailing all of the primary families that don't have their paperwork in, and I think we're down to maybe 3 or 4, and we had probably 20 that didn't have all their paperwork in. We filled up, I think, I haven't talked to Lisa because she's out, but we sent out invitations to enroll to fill our last couple of seats that we had, a couple of things that came up over the summer. And I've responded to all of the classroom change requests. And then the enrollment numbers are current as of end of June, early July, before Lisa left. And that's it, I think. Did I miss anything?
Thanks, Erin. No, I think that covered all the normal topics. Does anyone have questions or thoughts on either?
Not necessarily. I mean, it wasn't covered in this, but I don't know where would be a more appropriate time to bring this up. I noticed in driving by the school the last couple days that there's like a whole bunch of trailers between our school, behind the middle
Is
school.
that also?
Like
Yeah.
it's starting to become like a parking lot for
I
trailers
wondered
and
that also.
buses.
Yeah.
And I
Wondered.
just I don't know what
I
that's
don't know
about.
the right place for that. I did also. I was like, that's
No
weird.
place for that. Um, I believe that I haven't looked over there lately, but last time I looked over there, there were a couple of like camping trailers. Those belong to the people who are working to renovate the church or renovate the movie theater that's becoming a church and some other things. But I will go look over, I will put on my list to go take another peek over there and make sure that it's not people who've just decided they can move in there. Thank you.
It
Yeah,
was
it's
fascinating. There was a bus over there.
there's
Oh,
it. I assume the same thing, Aaron, because I knew they're renovating that space. I get confused at where our parking lot ends and where theirs begins. But if
yeah.
we don't, these is just an idea, so it's not like a. But if we don't know those people, it might be good if we could make friends with those people and just be
Mm.
like, "This is a school. We
Yeah.
we move the," or I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're comfortable with or not, but
I
But
attended
I
an
think,
event with somebody attached to that
sorry,
church
my cat is
was
trying at my
there.
chair.
No, that's
Um,
good. That's what we need. We need
it looked like a
entertainment.
giant dog with the blur, so I was like,
no, it's my cat, and he is the size of a small dog.
Nice.
Um, I think that Casey and Shannon, because Casey and Shannon will talk to anybody,
Yeah.
have actually talked to them. Like I know that there's a coffee shop that's going to be opening up over there full
Mm.
time, and so I just need to be social and get over there and introduce myself.
yeah. It overall it seems positive. I'm glad they're moving in there because
Yeah,
otherwise, like the vacancy was a little bit more bizarre. Like it felt like there was just more odd things that would pop up over there. So I'm glad that they moved in. I'm sure they'll be
yeah,
good.
me too.
But I noticed that also, Adam. I was like, that's interesting. Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And then for PPR, do you have a sense, like, do you think it'll kind of land there or might go up, might go down? Hard to say.
I if the 7 offers that we extended before Jen left all accept, then that'll bump it back up. Then we'll only have, I think, maybe 2 seats
Cool.
that aren't gonna be filled.
Cool. That's
It'll
awesome.
fluctuate all through October
Mm.
up till the very
Yeah,
last minute.
When they do
yeah,
Yeah, the count.
the
The day.
random day count.
Yeah. Well, like literally people would be registered and not show up for the first 15 days of school. And then
Mm.
we finally figure out
If
that they're
coming
not
or
attending. Yeah.
not.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And we also still have a pretty, substantial wait list as far
Mm.
as we can tell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you to you and Jen and everyone working hard over the summer and all those things. Okay, committee check-ins. Hopefully I got all the committees. If I missed any, let me know. And I listed them. There was no particular order. So I'm just gonna go in order. Grievance.
Actually, so
Go ahead.
this is the one where I bumped the latest version of the
Oh,
agenda has
okay.
I
Yes,
built it in
thank you.
here. The
Thanks,
principle to
Adam.
search discussion.
Great.
And Sarah Taylor should be coming in pretty soon. I
Okay.
think 7 o'clock. So, but I'm happy to just sort of get started. So thank you very much. So we have begun the principal search for all intents and purposes. I think when we first started this process a few weeks ago, a month ago, whenever it was, we were very motivated to move quickly and efficiently. I think in the subsequent conversations we've had with all kinds of different people, sort of what everybody said is like, don't be too quick. Don't be too quick. Make sure that you're doing this the right way and not too quickly, which is great. In my day job, I run a search firm for NPR stations, PBS stations. There's lots of circumstances under which we have to do a really fast search. And I don't believe that the outcome is as good as when we do a thorough and sort of longer search. Originally, we talked about sort of getting this done in 3 or 4 months, and I just don't think that that's fully plausible. I don't think it will be it will lead to the best outcome. And so when Christine and I talked, and when we talked with other people, we all agreed that we would work to slow down the search a little bit, and do a search that lasted, probably until about Christmas time, and just make sure that we're doing it well. I'm looking at I'm trying to manage the live stream at the same time, and I realize when I'm talking, nobody can see me. I'm going to put the Brady Bunch screen on that side so everybody can see that. Sorry. Looks a little ridiculous. I'm switching things around on the live stream. Thank you very much.
Adam, to add to your point, there's absolutely a season 2 for hiring for schools.
And that's what
And
we've been
we
told.
missed that window, so we got to back up.
Yep. Bill Bethke. Bill Bethke's the lawyer. Bill. It starts with tell me his name. Noose. Yeah,
Noose.
yeah. It has a silent K in the
A
front.
silent K. Yeah, Noose.
Bill Noose. So 2 bills that we're dealing with. Bill Bethke, Bill Noose, Sarah Taylor, who's just joined us, who I will introduce in just a second. But we've also been speaking with her. Lots of people involved. We're trying to make sure that we do this the best way we possibly can. And so that's what just about everybody said. It's like, let's make sure we're doing it efficiently, but that we're sticking to a reasonable timeline throughout this process. So to that end, I had some conversations with staff a month ago, and I told them I would have conversations with them. And we're still planning on doing that, but we've just sort of slowed down the process a little bit. I did put together sort of a short little timeline that I think I can share on all these screens all at once. But I would love tonight to sort of walk through and talk through what this search will look like, just briefly, just so everybody's on the same page, so we all understand. Some of the challenges that we're facing in this process. Again, we've talked to a lot of people about this, but also the sunshine laws in Colorado create situations where not more than 2 board members can meet at the same time without it being, we have to announce that we're going to meet 24 hours in advance. We have to post it, then we have to record it and make it available to the public. And so for those reasons, we haven't really had opportunities as a board to really discuss how things are headed any more than just a one-on-one conversation. And Christine and I have had lots of those. So we've assembled a search committee. I think the process has been very good. You know what? I'm sorry. Before I do this, let me just introduce our special guest, Dr. Sarah Taylor. Dr. Taylor, I've had excellent conversations with her as well. I'm happy to let you introduce yourself, Dr. Taylor, if you would like.
Sure.
Excellent.
Sarah's totally fine. It's nice to meet you all.
Sorry, Sarah, before you go, I'll give a kind of a brief explanation too of how we found our way to Sarah. She, in talking with the Colorado League of Charter Schools, and Bill Noose is our contact there, who's the senior director of something. I forget what it is, and he's been great. He was so helpful. And along the way, he said, hey, we're here for you guys, but you might benefit from having some additional support as you go, just to make sure you're doing everything well. And he instantly recommended Sarah and sent, a bunch of information about her background and how strong she is. And since then, anyone I've mentioned Sarah's name to has just been, oh, that's amazing. So she knows our lawyer that we work with. Our Emily, who's on our board, actually has worked with you before, Sarah, at her previous school. I talked to Tayo from the district today and mentioned Sarah, same reaction, that just so positive. So anyways, just to give a little bit more about how we found Sarah, and then of course we've been talking with her and working with her. And so, we're really grateful to be working with you, Sarah. And now I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm glad to hear that all those little bribes are working. So, no, I mean, thank you. I have been in public education for about 20 years now, a little more than that. I started as a special education teacher and then became an administrator, opened up my own charter school in Aurora, and then joined Rocky Mountain Prep for 6 years as their chief people and program officer. So oversaw all of their talent and HR and academics. And then I worked for the district for a year, overseeing all of the charters in Denver public schools, and then have been consulting for the last 6 years. So I consult for the league, doing a lot of HR and talent work, and then do a lot of strategy and other kinds of work. So I'm just really excited. It's actually been really great to get to learn from Adam as well, who has so much experience in the space. And so that's been really fun. But very happy to be a sounding board. You all are welcome to my number and email. Happy to answer questions as we go, and just want to get you all into a place where you feel really confident with your new leadership.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sarah. So Sarah and I have had some really great conversations about sort of where we are, where we want to be, what search looks like, what this search looks like. I feel confident saying like I've done search for public media for 15 years now. I know how those searches work. I've seen lots of the pitfalls and sort of where the booby traps appear from. And I don't really know that in the same way for charter schools. And so we've had some great conversations about what that might look like. And so, that being said, I just sort of wanted to run through what I envision the search will look like, just so we're all on the same page about that. So we've had conversations with the applicants for the interim position. Tonight we will discuss as a board. We will enter executive session and discuss the outcome of that, and hopefully we come out of that being decisive about who the interim leader is for the school. From there, so we've assembled a search committee. It was a really great process. So on the board, we're only really allowed to have 2 board members for the reasons sort of I discussed, that sunshine laws, and we need transparency. And so so the other board member is Emily, who's not here tonight, but she's been really great. We've had great conversations. We worked hard to assemble a search committee. We did it, I think, in a way that worked really well for the parents. We each sort of we read through the process of people submitting their materials. We had some questions that we asked about people's backgrounds and why they're interested in joining the search committee. And so we had everybody sort of submit that, and we read through those. We each sort of blindly, we covered, I hid each other's answers. We each sort of put a score in for how we felt each person would serve us. And ultimately we got to a score together for all of those. And for the staff, I Miss Elizabeth helped me for that. And so I think ultimately it was a very equitable process that helped us get a great search committee that I'm excited about. And so from here, tomorrow I'm meeting with the search committee. We'll have our first meeting. We'll talk about what we're doing, how we're going to do it. I'm sorry, the screen. I'm looking at the screen because that's where all of you are, and the camera's over here. And I've also given to Aaron a link that will allow all the staff to sign up for conversations with everybody. So the staff can sign up to have it's a conversation with me, Emily. I guess if other board members want to join us, you're certainly welcome to. But just to talk through what everybody's feelings about the search is. It's a process that I've built sort of over the years with search, but it's we ask 3 questions. Where do we need to be in 3 to 5 years? Given that, what our current strengths and weaknesses, and then given those 2 things, what do we need from the next leader for the position? And we have that. I cap the total number of attendees at 20. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to speak, but those will take place over the next Thursday, Friday, and then next Monday also. So we have that. And then at the end of that process, there's a survey that all the staff members will fill out, some attributes that we think are important for the leader of the next of the organization. And we'll use that as a foundation to build our job description. Sort of fill in the rest of that, the bullet points of the job description based on the conversations, the outcome of the conversations. And so really our goal is to make sure that job description very accurately conveys what people want from the next leader. So we take the position. We will all, as a board, will review it and make sure that we're all on the same page, and then we post it. We keep that open 6 to 8 weeks. I've already talked to Sarah, a couple other people about potential places to advertise for it. I will lean on community members. I will lean on staff to reach out to people if there's anybody they might know. If there's anybody we should speak with, that we will reach out to them. The active recruiting phase. So we do our advertising, we do active recruiting, we try to get it as far and wide as possible. At the end, once the position closes, we will, as a search committee, will review the applicants with our aim to get it down to about 8 to 10 candidates for a round of video interviews. I'm happy to share that process. We could probably share more as we get closer to it. I feel like I say it now and everybody sort of forgets, but it's a pretty structured process as well. We have video interviews, and then we try to get it down to 3-ish candidates for finalist interviews. And again, a lot of process around that. Having them meet with several groups of people around stakeholders around the school, including staff, including lots of different people, the board, search committee. And there's another survey at that stage, so we make sure that everybody who touches this process is able to provide their feedback that the board, that the search committee can see and make an informed decision based off of that. So that's the brief explanation of what this is. The reality of it is much longer than that, more drawn out, but that's probably as quick as I can make it. Any questions? Yeah, Jen, you had a finger? Okay, there's just a finger? Okay, great. Excellent.
Adam, did you want me to share some of those talking points that we talked about yesterday around? Okay. I've done this a few times with boards. There's a few things that always pop up in schools when we're hiring an executive director or principal. So there were 5 that I put down, and then you'll remind me if I missed anything. But the first is really around protecting equity and fairness throughout the process. And so what will happen is you all are going to get a lot of emails unsolicited from people within the community who are going to either say, yes, like this is the person we want, or no, not by any cost. Like we cannot have this person. And my big piece of advice there is that we don't use that in the process, because we want to have the same information throughout the process for every candidate. That's how we show this as an equitable process. So as you get those emails, you can just respond, with, thanks for reaching out. Here are the opportunities to provide information to the search committee, and just leave it at that. The second is maintaining confidentiality. I know within the board, it's pretty easy. You all sort of know what your roles are, but you may start hearing people talking about individual candidates or speculating about the process, or talking about somebody who they know applied. And so just having people, continuing to say, we want to keep this as a fair and equitable process, so that there is as little of that happening as possible. Respecting the committee's integrity. So again, really thinking about the privilege that there is in being on part of the search committee and allowing that process to unfold, and really just continuing to reiterate with staff that are on the search committee or parents that are on the search committee, we're going to come out of this with a decision that is made by the board, and our goal is to set that person up for success. Y'all have lots of influence, and so being thoughtful about public conversations and just any conversation there that might affect committee decisions, and then just following the process. So Adam's laid out a really, really strong, thoughtful process. And so we want to evaluate people only through that process that are in line with criteria and procedures. And the thing that I'll reiterate about that is this is a time where people are going after hiring committees. There's a lot of talk out there around fairness within hiring processes. And so we just want to make sure that we're keeping this as above board as possible. And then the last thing we talked about was people are going to ask for lots of communication. They're going to ask question after question after question. You're going to get so many unsolicited emails asking questions. And so what we talked about was really having a consistent communication practice, where we're updating the website, or we're updating through the school's newsletter on a regular basis and a regular cadence. So people, rather than answering things one-off, the answer just continues to be, we'll continue to provide updates in the school newsletter. So I'm trying to manage you all to not get us as much email and all of that questions as possible. And the more you continue to put that out, the more equitable the process will be. Is there anything I missed from our conversation?
Excellent. No, I think it was great. I mean, I think we talked a lot about the structure and just making sure that, Christine and I've shared this with you, Sarah, yesterday, that we sort of end every conversation with, what are we forgetting? Is there anything that we're missing? I think there's a lot of moving parts involved in this, and especially as it pertains to the charter school stuff and the number of people we have to check in with. And so it's always great to have extra eyes on this. I think you've been a really remarkable resource. So I'm really grateful for everything.
That's awesome, Sarah. Thank you. I'm sure you do this anyways, or maybe Adam has them, but will you just like shoot it over in an email and I'll make sure I can send them out to the board. And I would invite, Aaron, Jen, anyone on your guys' teams also, just to to think through and be able to utilize those same talking points or methodologies as much as possible. Because I think the more aligned we can be in the whole process, the better it will be for all of the staff and all the community. And I like that framework a lot. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts or, things that for Sarah or Adam or just for discussion that might be helpful to talk through around that?
Great. Thank you. And so the other part that I really want to shoehorn in here, one of the things that when I was on the board in my last term, that I think we were missing is the way that we can communicate sort of what the board is and like what we do and who we are and what the expectations are. And so I toyed around with the idea a lot, and I talked before about this, but we never really could make it happen. But to have a form of just some information about that. So the last month I've been working on creating a website for the board that just lays out sort of who we are, what we're doing, and kind of how we're doing it. And it includes now a section on the search process with a timeline that I will update as we proceed, so that everybody can see. I really want us to be as transparent as possible. Like, our goal is not to be the Wizard of Oz. It's not to be the people behind the curtain who just call the shots and then, are untouchable. But also, like, we've gotten a lot of advice, not just from Sarah, but from other people, from Bill Bethke, the lawyer. Last time we did the search, there was a big conversation about like how to get, like, what's the appropriate level of communication. That, like, we don't want to be like, we don't want to hear anything you have to say, staff, parents. But at the same time, like, those conversations it's really difficult to have individual conversations with lots of people without, we want to make sure that we're being as transparent as possible. And we've been advised not to have a lot of those sort of side conversations, that they can be taken out of context. And so for that reason, like, just trying to create a central repository where we can just sort of make it clear what we're doing and how we're doing it and what the time frame looks like. The website, it's mpaboard.org. It's the same. Our email addresses. It's the last part. Aaron, I think, put it up on the school website also. Great.
Awesome. Thank you all for your work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I look forward to a good process. I look forward to working with each of you and you, Sarah. Here we go. Strap in. Let the games begin. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Thanks for that update. Good to move on to committee check-in. And Sarah, I think you're welcome to stay or go, unless Adam, did you want her to stick around?
No, I think that was it. That was good. Thank you. I'm going to move this back.
Not that we don't, you are welcome to stay.
You're welcome to stay.
But you're like,
you have an evening also.
Like, I don't need to hear about the finance committee. Right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah. Okay. Grievance committee updates, and I'll go to numbers. Well, I'll go grievance committee. Any updates for that?
Did we want to hold off on that until, we have the discussion about the policies and then later as well?
Yep, that sounds good. Okay, school SAC. I know, Aaron, you mentioned SAC, and I could not recall. Did we determine a SAC member for the board at the last meeting? Or do we still need?
I don't think we did, but I'm happy to do it if no one's available to volunteer in that capacity, assuming it works with my work schedule.
Okay.
They were on Wednesdays last year, correct?
The SAC meetings are usually on like quarterly on a Monday.
Okay.
And we just when we have them, we kind of all figure out a Monday that works for
Okay.
everybody, and so they're pretty flexible. And we
Okay.
would love to have you.
I'd love to help out. So why don't you just put me down as the SAC committee person? I'd love to be a part of it.
Thanks,
Thank
Frank.
you so much.
Okay, PTA. This one I think Frank, you'd also kind of you'd mentioned wanting to maybe attend the PTA meetings. I don't know if you've seen those emails. So, but we could talk about that briefly too. Go ahead. Do you still want
Yeah.
to do that, or would it be better to have a different board member do that?
Um, So I had got an email from, I believe her name's Sarah. I don't remember her last name. I did reach out to her. I sent her an email. I gave her my phone number. I told her, let's connect. Let's talk about kind of a plan. And I haven't heard back. If you have a phone number for her, I would love to reach out to her and just kind of lay out a game plan. But I think I can manage doing that as well. If I can, I'll reach out and ask
Okay.
for some help.
If not,
Um,
we could ask Melissa too. Go ahead, Erin.
Frank, I have her phone number, and I know she's been on vacation, and then she came back from vacation and was sick. So
Okay.
I just now heard from her too.
Okay.
Um, but I'm meeting with her. I think beginning. I can't remember. I have too many meetings right now. But I'll connect the two of you.
Awesome. Great. Thank
And
you.
their meetings are the once a month on a Friday morning. Like the first Friday last year was the meeting at
Okay.
8:30.
This year's going to
Yeah,
be
at
the
the
second.
North Campus.
Yeah. Is it the
And
second this year, Jen?
yeah, and Aaron, I think you're meeting with them on Thursday before our office meeting.
Oh, thank you. That's super helpful. Glad somebody knows what I'm doing.
My calendar too, Jen. That's awesome. Okay, and Frank, if that becomes too much, let's reconnect or whatnot too, and
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure you don't have too much on your
I'll
plate.
let
But
you know. I'll let you know.
I don't have any updates from the PTA. I didn't reach out, and they would kind of. So I don't know, and Daisy, I don't know if you would do either. Okay.
Summer.
Um, so I think basically I know they have a new president this year. Sarah's her name, it sounds like. And I know we're still waiting to figure out the like back to school social, I think, unless we have that time determined. Where they host the like food trucks and just a all around good time. So finance, Jen, go ahead. I know you said there wasn't anything, but I'll turn the mic to you in case you have anything.
Sure. We're just right in the middle of finishing June fiscal. Sorry, just took a bite of my taco. I'm in the middle of finishing June and purchasing for this year. I just told Erin that I'm up to date on purchases. Getting her in line for doing the vouchers is perfect timing. We can circle back with the final numbers once we get our audit in October. But when we get back in August, I'll be able to report on July's financials.
Awesome. Marketing, Sarah?
I don't have any updates for marketing.
Okay.
I know last school year we were meeting on Tuesdays, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. So my hope is that we can come up with a solidified time and date that's consistent. So that's a small little goal I have.
Well, yeah. Well, consistency's no small thing. It really doesn't.
Right. Exactly.
Some people know what to expect. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so
Okay.
I was on the marketing committee
And we had our
for
search committee. Did I miss any committees?
no, Sarah, I was on the search committee for a couple years. I'm happy to, I mean, sorry, the marketing committee. I'm happy to sort of talk you through sort of where things were with that. And who knows, maybe I can come back on there and we can actually make something of it. We've gone back and forth with our ability to meet, and but I think it's very important, and I would be very happy to talk to you about that.
Okay, cool. I'll connect with you after this then.
Excellent, thank you, Sarah.
Cool. Okay, the next one is like an FYI, and I also want to clarify roles for this too for the committee. Well, I want to make sure I know all this. You all might not know all this, but the board finance rep Is that Elizabeth or was it Elizabeth and Frank? Or do we need to discuss all those things still?
The finance rep, isn't that just Frank now? Wasn't it Justin for a long time?
Justin,
and
I
I
know
did it
last year
together.
Elizabeth,
Oh,
or
you
go
did
ahead.
also.
Yes.
I'm happy to have Frank. He is our treasurer, but I need Elizabeth. She's my go-to. We can have meetings. We can bounce things off of each other. She has supported our budget just as much as I have.
Excellent.
So maybe you three could connect on like, and how you want to go through all that so that you're aligned. I think the goal would be coming into a board meeting, you're all aligned, on whatever whatever there is to present, and how you want to handle that. I think sounds really good. Like that sounds good to figure out how you kind of want to handle that yourself. Is that Frank? I feel like you're like, is that do you feel like you have too much or you feel good about all that?
I think right now let's just run with it because
Okay.
I think it's gonna work. I talked to Elizabeth a lot at the in-person meeting, and I think both her and I are on the same page, and I'm looking forward to working with Jen as well. I think we're gonna be a well-oiled machine, and we're gonna make it great. So
I agree, Frank.
yeah.
Awesome. Yay.
Okay, great. So then grievance committee, that's Daisy. And I know it's so funny saying this, Frank.
Frank again. Yeah, Frank's a popular man.
Frank's gonna kill it this year. It's
I
gonna be
know
like,
the only thing I'll say is like there could be something good to it's hard because they're not here, but Emily will be on the search committee and that will be probably a pretty big load. Melissa, I know, took on reorganizing our documents, which is also a big load, but she might be able to take on like SAC, for example, could be a good one for a first year board member because it's
Yeah.
mostly attending the meeting. So, but we could maybe, I think she'll be at the, well, she'll be at the training next week, but we couldn't discuss that then. But let's revisit this in August when we do our board meeting, just to make sure, no one's overloaded. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. But then so then it's Daisy and Frank for the grievance committee. And then my commentary, Adam, you might want to add some things. Frank, Daisy, you guys might want to add things for the grievance committee. But when Adam and I were looking at and talking to, and then in my conversations with a handful of people just this summer on different things, there should be a little, it needs to be updated, I guess is the way I'll say it. Like it doesn't have like all the checks and balances in place that a good grievance policy should have. Like there needs to be a little bit more level of like confidentiality and then a lot of clarity on, how people can get these comments in. And I think the same thing might need to be done with community comments also of what that process is. And the hope of all of this, and when I was talking to Tayo today, also, she was like, this is a perpetual challenge for boards and charter schools, and she even said like the district superintendent and their board. It's just there's always a challenge between conversations and comments and feedback from families or people in the community to the board, and also with the principal or the executive director or whoever's in that role. And the like what I've gleaned from all this advice that we've gotten from our lawyer, from the league, from Tayo now also, is like, and Sarah Taylor also, like the best scenario is for us just to have such a great like procedure in place that it's really clear people feel comfortable using it, and there's just alignment like from the board to the principal to the community, and then we can always redirect back to that process. And and I think when I've seen things get a little out of whack, it's like the process itself isn't quite working, and then we don't quite know how to do it as a board, and and then maybe it's not always being reinforced by administration. And so anyways, that's I think the goal with the grievance policy is like just to review it, and we know we have resources now, including Sarah, and of course we'd need our attorney to review it, and then it has to be board approved. But I think like that'd be my charge for a grievance committee. And we could talk, I could connect with you guys all too a little bit more about like connecting with those resources and whatnot, but just making sure we have something that like really works for our community. Um, and everyone can work like in alignment, I guess. So I wanted to bring that up here. We can't do anything about it right now because when we'd have to update it, and then the board would have to vote on it, review it, goes to legal, all those sorts of things. But yeah, any comments, questions about that?
I have some stuff. Sarah's shared a couple things with me that I'm happy to share with the committee. And I'm happy to, again, it's tough because we have to do sort of just one-on-ones, but maybe we can, I'm happy to work with. I once upon a time I helped redesign the grievance policy, and I'm happy to share sort of my working memory of where we came from and where we went to and why. So let me know how I can help.
I think in going through the policy, it leaves a lot of leeway as far as it says the committee can go out and investigate and hold interviews. And it's like, cool. Wait, what does that mean? Like, do I need to interview? Like, do you want me to hold it to a standard of, do I have to verify that what somebody says happened? Like, that's kind of something that crossed my mind. It's like, well, we're not, saying that. And it's like, so what's the standard that we're trying to look for when it says this? So I think that's, again, a part of it that we want to definitely find some clarity on and write that in to say, what is the standard of, right, we have, it needs to be a grievable matter to say that a policy has been violated or held inequitably. But then what's the standard of the investigation? Is it somebody says this happened, we feel that yes, this did happen based on their word, but do we have to go out and confirm? Is it and I hate to say this, use this language now, I don't feel this language is appropriate, but he said, she said, right? That's, it's not appropriate terminology anymore these days. But that's kind of right what it is. So I feel that we need to solidify what that process looks like. So that's a part of it that's kind of come up as going through it to say, what is that investigation kind of looked at? What is it supposed to be? Do we take them at their word?
Can I say something? My
Yeah.
experience has been that board grievances would be strictly about the principal. And that's what you would investigate. If someone is complaining about their teacher or their classroom, that information should, the board gets privy to it, that should go to the principal. And then she can report in principal board member meetings, what she's done, what the progress is. She can do the fact finding, or he can do the fact finding. But that's my understanding of the board's level. It's principal.
That's been my experience at other charter schools and in MPA history as well.
Well, going along with that, we are the only person we oversee in the entire building is the principal. The principal handles all other operations, including staff.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I think would be policies that the board has, that we have as a board put in place to govern with, if something like that is.
Yeah, it'd be complaints to the board or complaints about the principal or issues, maybe not complaints or questions, but
Yeah. I think generally that's all really accurate. I think, and I think what the good news is there are best practices out there, and the good news with the principal search is like, honestly, I was telling this to Aaron too. I was like, because of the search, like, I've like, in a way, like been forced to, make better connection with all of those resources. And and so we should use those best practices and resources to update what our policy is, just to make sure it's clear for the community and for us, so that, exactly that, like, let's say there is a complaint, it has gone to the principal, it's gone unheard, and someone's, has a fear of retaliation or whatnot, in that, I think our current policy is a little bit unclear at how we would handle something like that. So what I want to do is bring clarity to the whole situation so that like it's like the side conversations and stuff like that where it's like, nope, like we kind of like what Sarah said. We've got a process. It's a very clear process. We all know how it works. We're in alignment with the principal on how that works, and we're all kind of using the same process. Um, so anyways, I like what I would charge the grievance committee with if possible. And like Adam said, we'll have to follow up like individually, just like, okay, here's Sarah's information, here's, that type of thing. But is by our next board meeting, if possible, we could have some potential updates to the policy and review it as a board. Does that sound reasonable? Cool. And I think the other good news about this is like it forces all of us to kind of know how what it is, and then we can even ask Sarah to do some training on this too of like how do we handle those conversations when, so and so walks up to us, at a pool and wants to talk to us about things. I laugh, but these things happen. Um so okay, great. Okay, board calendar, back to school planning. Erin touched base on these already. A few of you have responded to me. What I was hoping we could do is just look at the 3 different events. I think there might be 4 total because we don't know the last day. And just make sure we have a couple board members assigned to each. And okay, so let me pull up. I keep pulling up the wrong agenda, so sorry about that, Adam, for
That's the
Sarah.
only thing that I changed on that is the
Okay.
search committee stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up my emails to see. The first is the breakfast, and for whatever reason, whenever that date and time is, I can never make it.
Yeah.
I'm in town this year, but I'm expected to be at my office that day for a meeting. And so August 11th, can anyone make the breakfast?
I'm out of town that day.
I can. I'm already there.
You're like, I'm planning on being
That'd be perfect. I'll even pay you, Elizabeth.
there. Oh man, I don't get paid for this.
Christine, I'll come help on the 11th.
Okay.
Is it just a one person deal, or is it like more hands is better?
In the past, more hands is better. It's like as many board members we can have. I feel like this staff loves that.
I'll be there.
And
I'll be
Daisy,
there.
I mean,
Good opportunity to talk to people.
does someone literally, Daisy handled this last year, so does someone literally get the food?
No, here, listen, we changed it because
Yeah, we used to.
the board gets the food, but I get the food and reimburse the board, or
Right.
it's dumb.
Yeah.
Erin and I decided we're going to do light continental breakfast all week long.
Okay.
And we hired Tom's coffee truck.
Cool.
I sent you a flyer on
I
the
just-
board's
yeah.
behalf. So
Cool.
compliments of the board,
Thank
the
you.
coffee truck in the afternoon, and we're giving everybody room time after that. So it'll
Okay.
be awesome.
So you just
You
need to
can come
order, so-
anytime, but Aaron Woolard, what is our schedule? Did you have like the board talking at breakfast? Or can Elizabeth just say something and then Frank, you can just come shake hands at 1 when the truck's there?
So what we've done, as long as they've been there, is the board and the PTA get there at like 8:10, 8:15 and do a quick like, hey, here's who we are, here's what we do, reach out to us, blah, 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 just an introductory kind of a thing. And then that gets all of the board members back out the door and PTA members out to their jobs and all the things you have to do in your other job. And then we start our business day.
We can just show a video maybe of all the board members saying hello and what their job is, and we can.
I think that it's important that
lot of
people
work.
are there in person.
Yeah, I think so too. In the past, the board has literally been in charge of serving the teachers, and that's been fun.
But the only board member who could make it at that time is Frank.
Yeah,
And
I'm out of
Elizabeth,
town.
Does
So
it have to be that day?
it'd be nice if you guys could update your flyers too. I really love that.
yes,
You put
You
out.
loved my flyer.
Oh, you did it. I really, really liked it.
That was like that was the board last year. If something happened, it was probably Daisy or me.
Yeah, because we actually put those in the packets that we do for tours and stuff too.
Wow.
Excellent.
Okay, so on the
I need to
11th,
update my picture then.
Right.
on the
5
11th,
years
I'm
old.
hearing that's not going to work. That the only person who can come on the morning of the 11th is Frank
As far as I
And
know,
Elizabeth.
like
Elizabeth.
Melissa got back to me but said she could only do she said that she could do the new parent night and the back to school night. I haven't heard from Emily, so maybe she would be able to. But I just thought, I thought I'd throw it out there to see if a different date could work for people. Would that work better?
I'm free
Yeah, I
anytime
mean,
after the 13th.
I'm
if we
trying to
have to
plan
flex it, we'll
vacation
flex
at
it.
some point, and I have two possibilities, and one would be out of town on the 11th, the other would not. So I don't know which I'm going to land on. So it's like a 50-50. So
Okay,
Is the 14th too late? Is that is that too late
hold
or?
on. Let me
I was
look at
actually
the.
just going to invite you all to the 14th. I was going to pull up the schedule. We're doing staff badges, and you guys are welcome to come and get a badge, picture ID, make it easier for you guys to get in the building and all that.
It's so hard right now.
That's happening. That's happening on the
It
4th.
is hard if you're an unknown person. I don't want that to be a jab at anything. It's
Oh.
That's on the
No, but like
17th.
I'll have it printed with boards. Like people, when you're spending the time to be there, at least people should recognize that you're there.
There you go. And the investigations, when we want to do our investigations, it's good to
Yeah.
have us.
so,
Flip your badge. I'll
Well,
get
I
them.
hope we don't have to do any
Wait,
investigation.
when is the staff badges? Is the day we do the
Staff badges are on the 17th,
17th?
and there are no meetings that day. It's all random. It's the random stuff day.
Mm-hmm.
The 14th, we could do the morning of the 14th if that ends up working better for people. Because that's like our social emotional learning day. Every day has a theme. It helps our organizer brains work better. So the 14th is an option, and the morning of the 12th is the data day, but we could totally do first thing. Really, it's just a matter of if we could do it first thing in the morning
yeah.
before we jump into whatever the PD for the day is.
I could do the 12th, I could do the 12th, the 13th if my kids could come, or the 14th probably if my kids could come with me. But on those days, but the 11th is just like a no-go for me for that time.
So maybe we should do the 12th.
Well, Erin, what do you think about this? What if we just left it open? It looks like every day from 7:45 to 8:45, we're having breakfast. So you can come, anybody can come and shake hands and introduce yourself, meet our new staff any day that week. But
rather than doing a formal, here's your board, which always feels really awkward anyway.
Yeah. And then I'll have a big sign on the coffee truck and let everybody know this is from the board.
Well,
Make
thank
it a little
you.
more informal.
What do you want? Yeah, go ahead. Like Sarah, Frank, Daisy,
I
Adam.
can do that's also my PD week at work, but I can do the morning of the 13th or the 14th.
Me too.
See, now we have somebody almost every day.
I can do
Well,
13th.
not Elizabeth every day.
The 13th, we don't have any meetings, but everybody will still be there for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That's our no PD day. It's all classrooms all the time.
And Frank does the I'm like more in the like,
and you can bring the kids.
Strength in numbers without my kids, but if we're all day, I would personally feel a little bit more like, hey, we're like, whether if there's more than one of me, probably, I don't know, but I would do the 14th I'll do the 14th either way.
Okay. I'll do the 14th also. 14th works for me.
I'll do the 14th.
Okay.
So I could do the 14th.
Great.
Okay.
Now we're trying to get into a meeting.
13th, 14th.
That works for you, Frank?
I'm in for all the days.
Great.
You're any day.
Free breakfast.
Frank's going to show up. Hey, I'm Frank. Hey, I'm Frank. Hey, I'm Frank.
Okay. So that's at 8:15. 8:15, is that right?
Yep, I have 8:14, Friday the 14th.
At 8:15.
At 8:15, and then I'll just add the board's going to come in and I'll add it to the schedule. I'll move it on the schedule.
Board introduction, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for working through that, everyone.
Whew.
Yeah, my kids coming is dependent on how fast my husband makes it home that night. So, okay, great. So, okay, we worked out that one. That's great. And I agree. I do think it would be great to be able to have as many board members there as possible. So, okay, so new parent night, Adam,
I'll be there.
and then Melissa said she was available, and Sarah, I think you also said you were available.
Aaron, Robin used to always build it in that I would help. I would just do a car line conversation at the end. I'm happy to do that. Can yell at.
Only if you bring your big stop sign.
I'll bring the big stop sign. Or explain how it works.
You need a
Explain how it
shirt that
works.
says, "Don't run me over. I'm a volunteer.
That's right. That's right.
Don't park in Jen's spot."
That's right.
And Aaron, that's the night you're hoping to do just a short, or is that are you hoping to do a short talk with the board, or that's another night?
No, that's like 80% me.
Okay.
That one.
So that night, we'll have
school night?
flyers. Or go ahead.
Oh no, that's the one that the board. I think the last couple of years, the board and the PTA have had like a table with their flyers and handouts and signups and
Okay, great.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Back to school night's the one that we talked about. That the last couple of, whenever we get a new leader, we usually do like a community 15-minute community meeting before, just to introduce that new leader and we just open it up a little bit differently. The other times people come and they go straight to their classrooms.
Okay. That's great. Okay, so new to school night, August 13th.
Yes.
Sarah, Melissa, and Adam. We'll kind of pencil you guys in. Daisy, I'm hoping you're getting copious notes so then I'll resend all this out. Thank you. And I'll update that flyer. If anyone wants to redo the flyer, feel free. Otherwise, I'm literally just going to update that flyer with new photos and what your favorite school lunch is. No one's new here, so you can't tell me. But and then maybe we could print out some copies. I don't know. I'll send it to one of you guys, and you could be in charge of having copies printed out. And I think basically, yeah, right. What Aaron said, you just kind of stand at a table and say hello to people, and then. So then back to school night, the 27th, I can make that night.
Okay.
And then I think Melissa said she could make that night, and Sarah, is that right?
Okay.
Did I get that right?
I should be able to make that one easy enough.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it would be nice. It seems like in the past that the board has kind of done just a quick, we're very happy to announce so and so is going to be our new school leader and we're really excited and here's why. And then that person does a little 5-minute, here's who I am, here's where I come from, kind of like just a little informal presentation.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's smart to do. I think something like that sounds good.
And we have and Jennifer Parker is our new Montessori coach. So it would be nice to introduce her to the community as well.
Cool. And I'm always for a short vision, rah at the start of things like that. So I think that's great. And then so then the back to school social. This is the party night. Last year, the PTA president wanted us to have a table and have board members present, so we stood there. I had flyers. Eventually I went around and started like literally meeting people and handing people flyers. I felt like I was campaigning, even though I wasn't. It was good. I don't know. There wasn't anything bad with it. But do you guys would you guys be open to doing something like that again? Do you have thoughts, comments? Don't think it's helpful?
I think it sounds good. I think the more we can get in front of the community, the better. There's nothing worse than people saying, I don't know who the board members are and what the board does. I feel like we need to work on marketing for ourselves.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. And it helps now, helps for future people to run for the board. So, okay. So we get flyers at that also, and we don't know the date for that yet. Right, Aaron?
I think they're going to finalize that when she talks to PTA.
Okay. Great. So once we get that figured out, we'll kind of figure out who can make that night. It's likely I'll be there, but it's always a toss up on if it's a night my husband's at work. So okay.
Great.
Thanks for working through that, everyone. Am I missing anything? The
So I've got the board calendar pulled
Oh,
up.
thank you. Yep.
And it's all pretty easy stuff. It strikes me when I look at this board calendar that it says on here no meeting in July. But alas, here we are.
We knew we would need it though, so
we did it anyways.
we can't control variables outside of our control.
That's right. So the three things that I have on here, Jen, send quarterly financials to BBVA, PNC, and Zion.
It's now just PNC.
Okay.
And is it time for that right now?
That's what it says.
I just did it in April, May, June, July. Oh, yeah.
Quarterly. Yeah, these quarters keep on.
Look how that sneaks up on you.
Rolling over us. That's right. They keep on.
All right.
coming.
I'll run the reports, get it to our person, and have that for you. It's not due for 45 days till the end of the quarter. So, all right.
Great. Send previous quarters board minutes to district.
The district, that's all on hold.
Okay.
Because they don't have a place to store all this stuff yet. So
Okay.
I literally have an email from them. Just hang tight. And they're all piling up on my desk.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Every 5-year tax regulatory agreement compliance. This is 25, 2027, but not 2026. So I don't know.
Is that what Christine and I just did?
I don't know.
What, is it tax or insurance?
Every 5-year tax regulatory agreement
I
compliance.
haven't been here 5 years, so I probably haven't done one. Can you email me what that says?
I mean, literally, that's all it says. I can email you that, but.
Or what does it say?
Every
Tax?
5 years, tax regulatory agreement compliance. And it says the treasurer is also usually involved with that. But
Buckle up.
it's going to be a fun one. But then it says
Tax
next to it, it says in parentheses,
tax
says
regulator agreement.
tax regulatory agreement compliance.
Regulatory.
So just a bunch of big words strung together.
Yeah.
But it says 2025, 2027. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'll reach out to the bank. I'll reach out to the district. I'll reach out to the other bank.
Perfect.
We'll figure it out. First, I'll Google it.
Yeah. What the words mean.
All
That's
right.
it?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, and then Aaron said that it's 8/28 that Friday for the back to school social.
Perfect.
So I should be able to be there. I will be there with my kids without Jacques, but I can still hand out flyers when possible. And then the more people they're able to help, the better.
Great.
4-year-old
First
only has so much
about-
patience for that type of stuff.
Daisy, I don't know if this means anything, but when I asked you to forward me the documents, you have it labeled 7/17/26 agenda. Maybe just rename it to the 7/21. It's right on the document, but just in years when we have to go back and figure out when we had this meeting.
And I updated the document that's on the drive that's linked into the website, has the correct title date.
Perfect.
That's the important part. Yep.
Yep.
Great.
And mine is saved correctly on
We're almost done.
5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, so the next item is to consider an executive session to discuss the, I'll just read it. Discuss personnel matters, including the interim principal selection process and grievance related personnel matter. And so if we want to enter an executive session, I believe we need to call for a motion and vote.
I move to enter executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-402 4F and I to discuss personnel matters, including the interim principal selection process and a grievance related to personnel matters.
I'll second.
Perfect.
Okay. So then I believe we'll enter executive session. Jen, Aaron, thank you for joining. And then Adam, you'll kind of lead us through the technology piece, and then we'll exit for any matters that need to be voted on.
And then will you come back and tell us, or should we just be
Yes.
done?
Well,
you guys can be done. We can. I mean,
Well, I'd kind of like to know.
yeah. We'll let you know.
yeah,
You're welcome
yeah,
to stick around if you want, but we drop you in the waiting room and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right, Daisy, you know how to do that?
I can.
Recording saved. And I will bring Jen back in. She is still waiting.
It's gonna be a little anticlimactic when she just. I feel
won't
like I
know
tried to
yet.
warn her that it wasn't gonna be that exciting, but
She's expecting a name.
yeah.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Are you still with us?
Hi.
There we
Sleeping
go.
on her desk.
She's got her sleep mask on.
I know. I had my sleep mask on.
Yeah. Great. I move that we vote to move forward with the candidate to serve as the interim for Montessori Peaks Academy as discussed during executive session.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Great. Nobody. The ayes have it.
Nice. Good work, everyone.
We got there.
Okay. Meeting minutes. Past meeting minutes.
Do please give me your feedback on the summary section, because I did figure out, thank you, Sarah, for the idea, how to move that summary into a separate document. So if you like it, that is it, because once I put it into PDF, I don't think I can change it. So if you like that, we're done.
I think it looks good. It's the 6:10 meeting minutes, right?
Yep, it's the meeting minutes summary, I should say, discussed it.
It shows up
I'm still-
oddly in Google Docs.
Well, don't use Google Docs.
Is it the 10 or is it the 17? Oh, the 10 was our financials, right?
Yes, but we did cover a couple of additional things. I can share my screen here if you give me just a few moments, because I've got things all over.
Oh, there it is.
Because
Okay.
dual monitors are the win.
Absolutely.
Right.
I've got
Absolutely
4.
agree with you. Oh,
Live
there it
for
is. Okay. Yeah, it did come up kind of funny.
But it looks good in
Again.
Word. It looks good. Much better.
See. Okay. Me-
I move to approve the meeting minutes as submitted by Daisy for Wednesday, June 10th.
And
You know what? Can I do that? I was absent. I still move that we.
okay.
I was
That's
absent.
fair.
You can make a
Yes.
motion, you can't vote.
Yeah.
I just have to do another thing here. Give me 1 second. Copy. Paste. Okay.
But was everyone at both meetings? We can't combine them if we weren't there.
Yeah, they aren't combined. 6:17 is separate. I moved to approve. Wasn't I? Yeah. I moved to approve the meeting minutes for Wednesday, June 17th as submitted.
I'll second.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Did we get a second for June 10th?
Second for June 10th.
Thank you very much.
All in favor of June 10th?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I was there.
All opposed? Nobody. Have it. June 17th. I already made the motion to approve. And we got a second. All in favor? Oops, I'm covering this thing with this.
Beautiful.
It's getting late. I just somehow got rid of the video for the.
We were all there but Sarah.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Why is it sharing this on the screen?
And Christine had related
that's,
to participate.
you're sharing it on the screen. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I will try and stop sharing.
No, you're welcome to. I just wasn't, I thought I was doing it. I thought it was covering the screen that I'm using to stream this out. And then I thought it was me. It's a long night.
It's all good. I should be able to stop sharing though, if I'm talented. All right.
Great. So we all approved both the meeting minutes.
Yes.
I think that's it, right?
Awesome.
That is it.
Move to end the.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we need a motion to end the meeting?
I don't know.
But I moved to.
I don't think so.
I will vote yes. Okay, thanks everyone for your good work and
Thank you,
extra
Kristen.
time. And yeah, look forward to continuing to move all this forward with you.
Excellent.
So, meeting adjourned.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
good
much,
night.
everybody. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you all.
Bye.
Have a
Great
good
night.
evening.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night, guys.